This video is sponsored by Brilliant. Do you want to learn more and get better at what you do? There is only one place to go, Brilliant.org. For all skill levels, Brilliant offers interactive hands-on courses in math, data science, computer science, and other subjects. By joining up for a free 30-day trial by the URL brilliant.org/computerscience, you may access all of the platform's tools and resources, including interactive courses that make learning fun and interesting. You will join the millions of people who have already benefited from Brilliant's services and become part of a community of learners committed to reaching their greatest potential. So visit brilliant.org/computerscience immediately or click the link in the description below to get going on your journey to academic success. Thank you, Brilliant, for sponsoring this video. Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on the Python programming language and Bitcoin. So in this video, I will attempt to find the best days to invest in Bitcoin. Now, I'm currently on Google's website. It's called colab.research.google.com, and I'm on it because it makes it easy to start programming in Python. So if you're going to program along with me, go ahead and click on File, then click on New Notebook, where a new tab will open up for you, and then eventually a new cell will open up for you. All right, and this is where we will be doing the coding. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import the dependencies or libraries that I plan on using throughout this program. All right, so I'm going to import pandas as PD, and then from datetime, I'm going to import datetime. Next, I'm going to import calendar, and I'm going to import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, and then I'm going to give my plot a style. So I'm just going to type plt.style.use, and I'm going to use the 538 style. And then I'm going to run this cell by clicking this button here on the top left, and this will let me know if I made any mistakes. All right, so let's go ahead and click that. Also, before we begin, if you like the videos on this channel, then be sure to click that subscribe and like button. And to be notified about new videos from this channel, hit that bell notification. Also, you can get the code in this video or the data set or just support the channel on Patreon at patreon.com/computerscience. And I will leave a link for that in the description below. All right, so it looks like this cell is done running. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new cell by clicking this button in the top left. And now in this cell, I'm going to read in the Bitcoin price data. All right, so I'm going to create a variable called df and set it equal to pd.read_CSV, and we need to input the name of the CSV file. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here to the left to this files folder, and I'm going to upload this btc.csv file. All right, we get a little warning, but everything's okay. So I'm just going to click OK here. And now I need to input the name of the file, which is again btc.csv. And just like that, this should allow us to read in the data. Okay. So next I'm going to set the index to be the date. And the reason for that is if we look at the data set df. So I'm just going to put show the data set df. So I'm going to run this cell really quick. We can see the date column here and the indices here being integer values. All right, so I want to change these indices to be the date instead. And so in order to do that, I'm just going to first set our date column equal to pd.to_datetime. So we're going to change everything in there to datetime if it's not already. And then I want to set the index. So I'm going to type df.set_index. And I want the index from the, I want the index to be from the date column. So I'm going to input date here, and then I'm going to set in place equal to true so that the data set is updated. All right, so let's go ahead and run this now. Oh, looks like I made a small mistake, and that's right here. I put pd.to tay instead of 2 date time. So let's run this again, and now everything looks good. And now we can see the indices are now the date. Okay. All right, so if we look at this data set a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and exit this here so we get a little bit more space. We can see columns open, which contains the open price, high, which contains the high price, low, which contains the low price, close, which contains the close price, the adjusted close, which contains the adjusted close price, and the volume. All right, and of course, again, the indices are now the date. Okay, and of course, this is a data set for Bitcoin prices and volume. And we have 3,101 rows of data, and then those 6 columns that I mentioned above. All right, and it was originally 7 columns with that date column. All right, so the data set looks good. Let's go ahead and create a new cell. So now in this cell, I want to create lists to store the daily simple returns, or DSR for short. So I want to do this for each day, right? So I want one list for Monday. I want a list for Tuesday. I want a list for Wednesday, and a list for Thursday, then a list for Friday, and a list for Saturday, and then last but not least, a list for Sunday. All right, so I'm setting these variables equal to empty list for now, and we're going to populate them later on. So let's go ahead and run this cell. Let's create a new cell. Now I want to create a function that gets the daily simple returns, again DSR for short, and I want this for each day, and I want to append those days. So I want to append it, or that, I'm sorry, I want to append those daily simple returns to the corresponding days. All right, so I'm going to create a function called get_DSR, and it's going to take in the day, and then it's going to take in the daily simple return for that day. All right, now if the day is equal to, let's say, Monday, then we're going to append to our Mon list that daily simple return as a float. So let's go ahead and put in a float DSR. All right, else if the day is equal to Tuesday, then you may have already guessed it, we're going to append to the to's list the daily simple return as a float. Okay, and I'm going to do this for every single day of the week. So next is Wednesday, and we're going to put wet.append float, append float DSR. Else if the day is Thursday, I'm gonna put thurs.append float DSR. If day equals Friday, then fry.append float DSR. Okay, else if day is equal to Saturday, I'm going to put SAT.append float DSR. Else if day is equal to Sunday, it looks like I mistakenly created another cell. So else if day is equal to Sunday, I'm going to put sun dot append float DSR. Else I'm going to print something is wrong. Something is wrong, comma, all of the days of the week are above. All of the days of the week have been selected. Something like that. Or maybe I just keep it something's wrong. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and run this cell. Let's create a new cell. And now in this cell, I'm going to calculate and I'm going to show the daily simple return. Okay, so I'm going to create a variable called DSR, which of course is or stands for daily simple return. And I'm going to set this equal to df close because I'm going to get the daily simple returns for the price of Bitcoin. And I'm going to put dot pct underscore change with input 1 for 1 day. Okay, next I'm going to create a new column to hold the daily simple return, and I'm going to call this new column DSR as well. So let's go ahead and create that column. So just type DSR here, and just like that, we've created the new column. I'm going to set it equal to DSR, which is the variable that I just created, which holds the daily simple returns. And then I'm going to remove the first row of data from the data set because it's not important. If I show the data, you will see what I mean. So here I will just show the data. So I'm just going to type df. I'm going to run this. And you can see here, it's just a NaN value. So we can go ahead and remove this row. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to set df equal to df from row 1 onward, so 1 colon. And now if I run this, just like that, we've gotten rid of that first row of data. All right, and so this is our new data set now. So let's go ahead and create a new cell. Okay, and in this cell, I'm going to create a loop to gather the daily simple returns of each day from the data set. So for I in range 0 to the length of our data set, I'm going to get the daily simple return at each row, which will be at position I. So I'm going to create a variable called df, and I'm going to set this, or df underscore DSR, and I'm going to set this equal to df DSR at position I. So column DSR, row I. Okay, next I'm going to create another variable called cur underscore date, which will hold the current date. And where is that located? That's in our index. So I'm just going to type df dot index. More specifically, the index at position I is where this date is. Okay, next I want to get the weekday. So I'm going to create a variable called df underscore weekday. So we can get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I'm going to set this equal to calendar dot day underscore name. And here I'm going to put in the current date dot weekday. And then left parentheses and right parentheses. All right, so now this should give me the day name, right, for that current day's weekday. All right. Okay. So maybe I should have called it day name, and maybe I will. Let's call this df day underscore name. Or yeah, that's fine. That'll work. All right, so now that's day name. So next I want to add the daily simple return to the corresponding list for that day. So I'm just going to call that function that was created earlier called get underscore DSR, and it takes in a day and a DSR, a daily simple return. So in this case, our day will be df underscore day underscore name. So I'm just going to highlight it, copy using Control C, come here and paste it using Control V. And instead of DSR here, I am going to input df underscore DSR. So I'm just going to highlight it, copy using Control C, then come here and paste it using Control V. All right, and just like that, we should have our daily simple returns added to the list. So let's go ahead and run this. Let's create a new cell. And now in this cell, I want to create a function to average the returns of each day. So let's call it AVG. It's going to take in a day. Now, if not day, which means if this is true, then the list is empty. If this is true, then the list is empty, and we're going to return a list that contains the value 0. All right, else the list is not empty, and we can return the sum of day divided by the length of day. All right, so let's go ahead and run this cell, and I'm going to create a new cell now. Now in this cell, I'm going to create a new data frame and set the index to be the days of the week. So let's call or create a variable called df returns, and let's set this equal to pd.dataframe, and then I'm going to set the index to be the names of the week. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. Okay. All right. Okay, so next I want to get the average for each day and add the values under the, or add the values to /to a newly created column, and I'm going to call it AVG for average. All right, so I'm going to create my variable df underscore returns. I'm sorry, I'm going to create my column. I already have my variable df underscore returns. I'm going to create my column AVG, and I'm going to set it equal to AVG mon. So right now I'm just using this AVG function that was created, which takes in a day, or should I say a day list. In this case, it's going to take in that Monday list, right? And then we're going to append the Tuesday list and append the Wednesday list, and I'm going to append the Thursday list and the Friday list, the Saturday list, and the Sunday list. All right, so maybe it's twos instead of twos. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. All right, that looks good. Let's create a new cell. And now in this cell, I'm going to plot the average daily simple returns. So I'm just going to type df underscore returns dot plot, and I want it to be a bar plot. So I'm going to put dot bar and then left parentheses, right parentheses, left parentheses, right parentheses. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to say. And then let's go ahead and run this cell. And now we can see this nice bar chart. Okay, now the chart shows that Monday and it looks like Saturday tend to be the best days for Bitcoin's returns using this data set. And then it looks like Sunday tends to be the worst day for Bitcoin returns. All right, so not financial advice, but you may want to buy on Sundays and then sell on Mondays according to this data. All right, and also I think this is a good time for me to say that the material in this video is purely educational and should not be taken as professional investment advice, so invest at your own discretion. Okay, so now we saw this visually. Let's go ahead and create a new cell, and now let's show the returns, or should I say show the returns values. All right, so I'm just going to type df underscore returns, and let's run this, and now you can see the values. Okay, so just like we saw in the chart, Monday definitely gives the highest returns and Sunday gives the lowest returns. All right, so thanks for watching the video, and a special thanks to the Patreon supporters on patreon.com. Again, if you would like to become a supporter of this channel or get the code or data sets, or just again support the channel, I will leave a link to the Patreon page, which is patreon.com/computerscience, in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.